My career path, quick overview. I'm a sports medicine major and I'm intending pre med, either going as a physician or as a PA. Just some quick differences. Doctors have higher pay than PAs, but there's more school to become a doctor, less school for PA, which means that there's higher debt for becoming a doctor, less debt for becoming a PA. Physicians, you have to take the MCAT, whereas PA, you actually need 2,000 hours worth of medical experience beforehand applying to school. So those just quick overview of some things, but let's focus about how pre med or becoming a doctor, that career, translates with sociology. So just thinking about how structure affects socioeconomic status. Poor families might not have full access to care or preventative health care means. That's one thing to think about. And what doctors will really stress is that the best type of healthcare is preventative healthcare. So if that is true, even more so, then structuralism and how it relates to those families who make less than $2 a day, that's something that I would have to think about, whether as a PA or a doctor, when I deal with one of those families. And another example, actually, in structuralism and how it plays into society is the during quarantine right now, COVID. Best type of healthcare is preventative. Good exercise and good health prevents you from getting the worst effects of COVID. Well, not 100% guaranteed, but there's a correlation with the less comorbidities you have, the less likely you are to be super sick with COVID. So there's a structural problem that has been created right now. There's no consistent access to gyms, which is the main way that people have basically been exercising from now on. So it is a bad faith situation within a sense of where we have to teach people that there's other options of exercising without going to the gym. But we also think about, okay, swimming, access to pools. Not everyone has a pool in the back of their family. So that's a structural problem, right? Running, not a structural problem in the sense of resources, but not everyone's joints are good enough to run, let alone have the motivation to run. But I would definitely go with pools more. Body workouts too. The thing with that too is like right now I'm in a structural problem right now because I have a lot of friends who have weights at home or have the money to spend on weights. So again, that's another structural problem that ties back to socioeconomic status. It's like, okay, yeah, well, you know what? You can't work at the gym, work at home. Well, I don't even have the money to pay for the things like weights and different dumbbells right now to work out at home. So that all relates to structuralism. But another thing that I wanted to touch on was not interactionalism, because I talked about that last time, but social construction of stereotypes and how that relates to medicine. Doctors might miss symptoms because of misconceptions about race, gender, sex, pre-assumptions about what someone experiences. But I think the more important thing to focus on, vice versa, is the pre-assumptions that patients have at doctors. And I remember this because of the paper. You remember the one that it was comparing black families and white families and trying to see what plays more of a part of in America, socioeconomic status or race. Just wanted to read this part about emerging signs of constraint, and this was with the poor socioeconomic family. The interactions the research assistants and I observed between the professionals and the working class and the poor parents frequently seemed cautious and constrained. I'm going to skip down a little bit. Unlike Mrs. Williams, the mother at the time seemed very wary of supplying the doctor with accurate information. The conversation: does he eat something each day? Either fish, meat, or egg? The mom, not very responsive, low, muffled, yes. Doctor trying to make eye contact, trying to make contact with her. Yellow vegetable. Mom, still no eye contact, looking at the floor. Yeah. You skip down to the bottom. Miss McAllister's knowledge and developmental events in Harold's life is uneven. She's not even sure when he learned how to walk and cannot recall the name of his previous doctor. Looking at how, um, well, actually, that in a sense ties back to social. That is within itself is structuralism because one, the mom, poor socioeconomic status. The mom may be working a lot more, which means she's not there with the kid often enough. Maybe like a stay-at-home mom, where this family's richer to see those events with the kids. And then two, the other reason that I would say is that she is reluctant in the conversation is because she's afraid she has this social construction preconception that every government official or every doctor is out to try and take her child away from her. So in a sense the two are related in this case: structuralism and also social construction or pre-assumptions of doctors. The mother can't assume that the doctor is there to take her child away, and as a medical professional in my future career I would have to learn how to interact with people like that, how to ease the tension or be able to notice if I'm going to run into that type of situation. And then in the case that I run into that situation, do I report the mother for child abuse, or do I see, oh, okay, the mother's not negligent. We have a we have a structural problem here at where she doesn't have enough money to take care of her child. So that would be something to consider. And then furthermore, a small tangent uh, that goes on social constructionalism is just, again, stereotypes of people. Not everything that's common sense is always common sense. So, what I don't agree with is sometimes we have these so called biological conditions that doctors just keep prescribing pills and medicine to people, which may actually have sociological factors instead. A kid with ADHD develops behavioral problems due to bullying at school instead of actual ADHD. Or a patient is depressed, but not due to hormone imbalance, but due to the stress of a low socioeconomic status that they're experiencing in life. It's just a few things to think about.